Hey, I'm Rutledge.
Hey, I'm Connor.
And we're Friends Stream Sports. We're real friends who talk about real sports in real time. And Connor, I'm glad you're back because I'm sure you saw last week everything was broken. Emily had no audio. I had no Madden. Oh man, we had to make it up as we went along. But Steven the Steady was on. We had a great show. We talked about Emily being locked in a Waffle House for 12 hours. But it's good to have you back because with you, the distant.
Oh, well, Rutledge, that means a lot. Good to be back. Was traveling last week. Fun story. I actually got trapped in the Atlanta airport during my travels. So had a lot of getting trapped going on. Should play some trap music. Because
I say, did you listen to trap music in Atlanta?
At the Waffle House.
Yeah, you did.
Gotta love those summer storms. And, the folks, gotta give it to the airline that I flew. The folks that I worked with in that airline were all nice. Just sometimes summer weather and connecting to Atlanta can be a little tricky.
Yeah, it can. We also want to take this time to take a slight moment to give anyone out there some love that's affected by Hurricane Ida. That's a scary storm that just did a lot to the world. So, Connor and I were a sports show, but we're good human beings first. So we feel for them.
No, absolutely. Yeah, having lived through some hurricanes, nothing seemingly as bad as what happened with Hurricane Ida. That's never fun. And even, to be, quote, relatively unscathed with a storm that large that goes over your house and your home, there's still some damage that's done. So, definitely hearts go out to those folks affected. If you know anybody particularly that is affected by Hurricane Ida, make sure to give them a little bit of extra love from your friends here at Friends Stream Sports.
Yeah, we hope everyone's okay, and we know that hopefully everyone's being taken care of properly. Speaking of someone who's not taken care of properly, I'm the Carolina Panthers tonight for a reason. Good old Cam Newton. We're going to talk about him in halftime hot takes, but Cam Newton is no longer in New England. Connor, before we get into it, give us your 90 seconds.
I think that as it related to being a Patriot, they got Cam for absolutely nothing. And the one thing that the Patriots always want to preach is consistency. And Cam just had a problem being consistent. And from the sounds of it, this recent, COVID protocol thing was kind of the last straw in a lot of ways for Cam. We never want to get too controversial, but that's kind of the sound of it was they might have been looking for a reason to get Cam out of there, and having the COVID piece come out and have him quarantine, I think that was the last straw for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So, hopefully Cam can get on with the team soon, but, it's looking like it's going to be the Mac Jones show now.
I think that's a really good fit for Mac Jones. He's very much... Steve Sarkisian built a really good system in Alabama, which made him look really good really fast. I think that Mac Jones being out there, he's just on the right team. It's kind of like when Tom Brady got picked. There's just certain teams with certain people at certain times and certain quarterbacks where it just works. Mac Jones is just in the right situation, so I'm excited for him. I know that earlier on our draft shows, if you check out our previous content, I was a little negative on him, wasn't I, Connor? I was a little hard on Mac Jones, just like Ezekiel Elliott is just hard on that run. He blew up that coverage.
Oh, yeah, good old Zeke Elliott. And just so we know, just so we're clear, if my boy Clint Hall is on tonight, that is why I'm the Cowboys. Repping Dallas. I think we're going to have one viewer and participant on our show from Dallas here this evening. But, yeah, I think as it related to all the quarterbacks, he seemed to have there's our first missed PAT of the evening. He seemed to have probably the lowest ceiling. One of the things about being an Alabama quarterback is it's like, oh, of course you're going to win 10 games because you're throwing to the best talent in the country. You're throwing to all NFL players on the perimeter, things like that. So I think, in some ways, Mac Jones would have been considered a victim of his own success, but he did well enough to earn the starting position at quarterback for the New England Patriots. So good for him.
Good for him. I also want to give a shout out to our new viewer tonight. My friend TJ is watching us. He is ripping me to pieces on my personal phone because of that run that you had, Connor. So at least one viewer knows that you're killing it.
And that's from a former offensive lineman. So I think you have an idea of what I'm going to be trying to do here this evening.
I'm not excited about it, but someone that should be excited should be the people in Manchester City, as they've seen someone come back home. For those of you that know that Connor and I have really expanded our soccer content here on FriendStream Sports. Sorry, I got distracted because Madden 20 Cam Newton is a lot slower than I thought he would be. Either way, Cristiano Ronaldo is back and is signed with Manchester City. He has left Juventus and he has come back home to what I think is a massive signing that's really going to shake up the Premier League, really going to sort of change the season. I know that we talked earlier, Manchester City was in the top 4 of those really good teams to sort of watch for this year. Now that with him signing, obviously you want to put them at the top. We'll see how they do against, how Manchester United does against Manchester City. Always a big rivalry. We'll see how they fare against Liverpool, who seems to be a little bit on the downslope. But what are we doing, Cam Newton? That play blew up. So
we got a little dancing going on right there.
That was a lot of dancing.
Yahoo! So Rutledge, not to be that guy, but first ding of the night. Let's remember Cristiano Ronaldo will be playing against Manchester City as he was picked up by Manchester United.
I said Manchester United. I redact that ding. That ding is redacted. I did it right this time.
You redinged it?
I redinged it. Your dings are obscenely dinging. Cam Newton's horrible.
So is that sack. Cam is struggling.
I regret this.
I think there's a reason why Cam got cut from the Patriots. Bill Belichick and his boys might have been playing some Madden 20. But no, I think...
and I'm getting ripped up in the comments. Teej3 in the comments says if I was the Bills, I'd be winning. This is not a good night for me. I've got a ding.
Oh.
I'm getting sacked. Connor, this is a rough show.
First ding of the night. But no, I think one of the big things as we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and his return to Old Trafford with Manchester United, I think that there's a couple questions that we need to figure out. Number one, from the Juve perspective, from that Juventus perspective, it's so interesting to watch him go seemingly easily, right? It was, he was always a hired gun for Juventus, and he said, all right, or maybe he didn't say it, but it was really Juventus that was ready to move on. Juventus does have a lot of young players, and it'll be really interesting to see the kind of players that Juventus buys now from the Cristiano Ronaldo sale. Manchester United, being 36, it doesn't matter if you're Pele at 36. If you're paying top dollar for anybody at age 36, you're overpaying. So I think that Manchester United just feels like they're in win now mode. I think that puts a lot of pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he will be definitely in win now mode. The other interesting thing, and would love to hear your thoughts on just how do you think Cristiano is going to fit in with some of those other players at Manchester United, Rutledge?
Culturally, I really want to see sort of how he clicks, because I think he'll do okay obviously on paper he's going to do really, really well, but you have to think, and culturally, we like to think culturally and language-wise in soccer a little bit. Whenever you play FIFA, if you're out there, it's very much, can you build a team that they're going to have sort of a lot of their background in common, or you can't pull numbers like you do in a Madden. The big thing that I'm worried about it is, that's a really big shift, and they were doing, not just okay. They were, they were in the Champions League last year. They finished top 4 in the Prem League the previous year. So they're not a horrible team, and to go into this win now mode and pull, I'm going to call it out for what it is. It feels like a soccer equivalent of what the Los Angeles Lakers are doing this year with the addition of Rajon Rondo did. It's a little bit of a culture shift, you know? I don't know if a soccer roster is going to adapt as well. Give an example more locally for our fan base, Orlando City, when they brought in Nani. There was an impact on the field, but it took the team a little bit of a culture shift to adapt to him being there. You never see in soccer a prime player come in and immediately start having an impact like in some other sports that we follow. It's more like a baseball where it takes some time for everything to gel. So I know on paper it's really, really good. I know when I buy FIFA 22 this year, it's going to be a lot of fun. They'll be my favorite team. However, what's it going to look like on Sundays in the morning for us watching in America? I think once they get deeper into time and they get closer to Champions League and all the stuff that matters in the season, that's when it's going to matter and they'll be in right form. So, of course, for them to make this move now is a really good idea. But that's just kind of where I'm feeling about it. I'm interested to see how he blends. How do you feel, Connor?
Yeah, I think that you've got a number one, let's remember, Cristiano Ronaldo was not signed on, to go play at Manchester United, to go, play at Burnley on a Saturday morning in January or March. Cristiano Ronaldo was signed to be playing big-time games, be playing against Man City, be playing against Champions League opponents. I think that's one thing. Like, let's not get it twisted here. He's probably not going to be playing all the games. I would not play him all the games. So the other piece that I think is the very interesting element in consideration is news has it that the other center forward for Manchester United, Edinson Cavani, is potentially going to get sold to Barcelona. Barcelona just sent out Antoine Griezmann on loan. So, that's the piece that I'm kind of questioning a little bit, trying to understand the thought process. The other, and I guess my first hot take of the night, maybe not as hot of a take, but the number one impact signee for Manchester United is not going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, but it's actually going to be Jadon Sancho, as he did also make the move to Old Trafford. So there are other players that they brought in. Really excited to see how this team meshes, and I think that Manchester derby just between Ronaldo and Sancho is really taking a big, nice step forward.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that Manchester derby and do some more coverage as we get a little further in and see how the Premier League unfolds, as my defense is unfolded everywhere. I'm like a cheesecloth. You just unravel me and just stuff goes through it.
You got the Swiss cheese defense there, Ruddles.
Oh, it hurts. All right.